Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get started, I would like to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, share this, do whatever else you need to be done, ring the bell, I don't know, just do it, you know? Okay, so before we get started, let's just have a little preface here. I am a Marina and the Diamonds stan. I am a bias for her. Now she now only goes by the name of Marina, okay? So we're going to be referring to her exclusively as Marina from now on. There's been a little bit of confusion as to why. I'll give you my theory. Let's just be real. Okay, so in order to be talking about her new album, Love, if I can get that to pop up on screen, we are going to take it back and discuss some of the older works that she has had. Now, I have been following Marina since Family Jewels, which was her very first, like, you know, actual release, her debut album. On that album, it was, you know, she wrote every song, she produced every song, if I am getting my memory, you know, correct. I think that's how it worked out. Which that was, you know, such a pivotal album in my formidable years, let's be honest. It, some people, like, critically were thinking that maybe the record, what do you call it? The lyrics were maybe a bit simplistic, or maybe it was a bit cheesy. However, I think if you were to be listening to it in the mind frame of a fan, which obviously that's what she was doing, I think that it hit certain chords that made it to where we would enjoy listening to her in the future. Now after that, she released her sophomore album, The Electra Heart. Now Electra Heart was not Marina, in quote. It was not, she was playing a character during that album, and that was not from the viewpoint of her, it was from the viewpoint of another woman through the archetypes of being a woman in today's society. You know, that's probably her most popular album. It had songs like, you know, Prima Donna, How to Be a Heartbreaker, etc., things like that. And then after that, she moved on to Fruit. Now, Fruit is a completely different story for a lot of people in the Diamond fan base, which is what she calls her fans. Fruit was a departure from some of the other works. It was probably my favorite album she's released to date, honestly. But it was, okay, so Electra Heart was such a big project. The promotion for it, the hiring the producers, etc. I think it added up, and it officially, like, bankrupted the record label that she was under at the time. So for Fruit, what she did was she went more so back to basics. So it was a very much Family Jewels-esque album in the way that she wrote all the songs, you know, by herself. And then she did, you know, she had a hand in producing it, I'm sure, to keep costs low. Unfortunately for Marina, the album leaked quite a while before it was supposed to be officially released, as things like that happen to a lot of artists now for some reason. And because of that, I do think it probably impacted sales. It probably impacted, you know, chart performance would have been something that could have helped it sell more copies, because she was kind of in the mindset that she was going to, you know, have to probably pay back some of the money that Electra Heart dealt to the record label that she was under. And that did not work out, so she went on a brief hiatus for a while. She officially changed her name from Marina and the Diamonds just to Marina. And then a song called I'm Not Hungry Anymore leaked, which was kind of implying that she was no longer trying to be in the spotlight and that she really didn't want to continue with the music industry, which, you know, understandable because, you know, after a while, and you know, people were also kind of mad about Fruit because it wasn't as many bops on it as like maybe Electra Heart, but it was a more personal album. Like, honestly, I remember one of my least favorite songs at the time was called Gold, but as I listened to it more, it was just so insightful. Like, at one point she says, "I don't care if everybody knows I'm $1 million in the hole." You know, it was just one of those things that she really did. She shines through in her music and in her songwriting. So whenever she announced her new album, Love Plus Fear, hold on guys, I'll be right back. I have to turn off that fire alarm. Alright, I'm back, and hopefully my alarm is not going to be coming back to this party. Now, as I was saying, whenever she announced in February that she was releasing or maybe it was March, I don't really remember exactly the time period that she announced that the double album was coming out, but she announced that the album would be called Love and Fear, and it would be two completely separate projects that fit together in one single packaging. It would be on 2 different CDs, 2 different, you know, themes throughout the entire thing. Well, as we get closer to where we are today, she kept releasing songs from Love, the first half of the record, and we have still not heard anything about Fear. So she announced last week on Thursday. I remember I woke up, the first thing that I saw was her on her little Instagram, and she says, "Hi guys, just want to let you know, I think music should be digested slowly, so I said, you know, who cares? Let's just go ahead and put out Love, all of it for you." So that's 8 tracks, 4 of which we had already heard. So we got 4 brand new tracks that day. And she said Fear is still coming later on this month. It will just be at a different time, and then whenever Fear is released, Love and Fear will be complete. So I have a little synopsis of what I think about the album written out. Okay, I will just go ahead and say completely, you know, officially, I don't really like the concept that artists now are kind of dropping every song as a promotional single before a record comes out. I think that that kind of like spoils, because I remember whenever I was a kid and you would get, you know, the official lead single from an album, and then, you know, you may get like 1 or 2 promotional singles. And then you would wake up the morning that the album was dropped and there would be like, you know, 10 to 12 brand new songs that you hadn't heard before. It's becoming more of a trend that it seems like artists are putting out, you know, instead of like 2 or 3 songs before an album, they're putting out like 90% of the music on the album, and then you wake up and then there's maybe like 2 or 3 new songs. Which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a personal preference of mine. However, I started noticing that this was becoming a thing for the Love record, because before the album even dropped, we had Handmade Heaven, Superstar, Orange Trees, and Baby. That's 4 songs. And she had said earlier on last week that To Be Human was going to be dropped at the end of that week. So I was like, okay, so we're gonna have 5 songs off of this record before it comes out, at least, because we don't know if she's gonna be releasing any more beforehand. But what a surprise it was whenever I woke up and the entire record was dropped. Okay, so I'm going to be running through the songs and what I think about them. Okay, the first song on the record is Handmade Heaven, and that was the lead single, the official lead single from the record. It was written solely by Marina herself, and it was produced by Joel Little. I'm sure a lot of you don't know the name Joel Little, but you know the music that they've worked on, including Lord's Pure Heroine, the entire album, basically the Brood's entire discography, And then for, you know, you little dancing queens out there, Tuvlu's Imaginary Friends from Ladywood. He's produced on that. That song is kind of different from any of the songs on the album, Love at least. It's kind of more so like she's appreciating the scenery that she's in. Maybe it's loving nature as opposed to the traditional love that most of the other songs on the record are talking about, which it was an interesting idea for that to be like the official lead single, because like I said, it doesn't really tie in to any of the other songs the same way that the other songs tie into, you know, the rest of the album. This one is definitely a standout in the way that thematically it maybe doesn't make sense to be the lead single. Was it, you know, a good song? Yeah, I strongly recommend it, always. It's more so a simplistic writing style, and I think maybe they were aiming for radio play with it, if I'm being honest, but that's the lead single with anybody that's, you know, semi-famous. They're trying to, you know, boost it. Is it the best song that Marina has ever put out? No, it's not. I'll be honest about that. So we're gonna move straight along to track number 2, which is Superstar. Superstar is, this is whenever I guess the rest of the album starts, you know, putting itself together. Superstar is a song about a loved one that she has that she just cannot be away from, and that they cannot be away from her. They are her superstar and she is their superstar. This definitely has an Electra Heart like production-esque style to it, but it's you know, this project, I'm having trouble with the whole Love album in general, like making I'm having trouble not completely comparing it to her past works, just because we don't have the Fear half of the album yet, so it's hard for me to, like, you know, group this together as its own album at this point. So I have trouble not comparing it to other ones. So whenever I say it's like Electra Heart in its production, it's because it's more so electronic based. It's definitely, it plays in like EDM-esque, like maybe soft EDM, because it's not something that you just want to, you know, like, it's not like mind-numbingly simplistic dance music, you know. It does have a message behind it, and honestly, I really like this song. I liked it a lot more than Handmade Heaven. Is it one of my favorite Marina songs ever? No, it isn't. I'll be honest about that. Would I recommend it? Yes, I would. So we're going to move on to Orange Trees, which yet again is a very different sound from anything Marina has ever done. It feels more Caribbean-esque based. It's about her home in Greece that she used to visit as a child, and the way that being back in that area makes her feel as an adult. It's obviously a very sentimental song for her, and it's easy to tell. It's very fun, it's very uplifting, it's very much more so like the love of nature as opposed to the love of like yourself or another person. It is, you know, kind of different. She put out a little preview of it beforehand, and it was only like the first like 10 seconds of it, and all that has is kind of like I get a remix or a edit of her voice just saying orange over and over again. And it was like, whenever I first heard that, I was like, okay, well, I'll just have to wait for it to come out. Sure enough, whenever it came out, I was very, you know, happy with it. You know, is it my favorite Marina and the Diamond song ever? No, it's not. But Marina song ever? No, it is not. But it is, you know, definitely a standout on this record, because you can tell that she's having fun with it. And anytime that I can tell an artist is enjoying what they're doing, it stands out to me, and it makes me happy as well. So next we're going to be moving on to track number 4. And this is Baby. It's actually by the production duo Clean Bandit, or maybe trio, I don't know. It's by a production team called Clean Bandit. They play on the radio all the time. And it's featuring Marina and Luis Fonsi. This song is definitely different than anything that Marina has ever put out that I've heard. It is, you know, about the one that got away, wrong time, wrong place energy, like could have been, but it just wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It's different in the way that, like, I don't think she's ever put a song on on any of her albums in which she's like working with another artist on it. She has made very clear in the past that she doesn't think that collaborations in modern music are good because it kind of leads to more so of a generic theme with the song, and that kind of rings true with this song. It's a bop. I like it, but it's not what I'm used to from Marina, and it's one of the songs that whenever it does come on, maybe I'll let it play out for a little bit, but typically I'll skip it. Sad enough, but I skip this one. And we're going to move on to the last 4 songs on this half of the record, in which Marina put out last Thursday. So these are the 4 brand new songs. And I have to be honest with you. I clump track 5 and track 6 together because they kind of fall into that preachy, like, be happy, don't, like, just forget about your problems, you know, they fall into that theme. Sonically, lyrically, these are Marina songs for sure, like they are, but thematically speaking, I maybe the writing just didn't match with what I was thinking it should have. But on both of these songs, it felt like thematically something that like Maroon 5 would put out, you know, all tea, all shade. These two, Enjoy Your Life is track number 5 and True is track number 6. You know, I would have to press the skip button on these both. They're not my favorite Marina songs. They're not my favorite songs from any artist. If Lana Del Rey came out with these songs, I'd skip them. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it kind of fell flat for me for what it was trying to do. And, you know, I appreciate the effort in it because these songs definitely fall into the love category of like self-love. But, you know, just it did not, neither of them hit well with me. Where I think this love record truly shines through are in the last 2 tracks of the album. Track number 7 is To Be Human. It was written solely by Marina again, and it was produced solely by Joel Little again. This song, To Be Human, she has made a statement saying that this is the most important song that she's ever put out. Maybe important and, you know, people's personal favorites, you know, sonically are different, but it is, the theme behind it is like, we are all people. No matter what, if you go to Russia, to the Red Square and see Lenin's dead body there, or if you go to Hiroshima, if you're in America, if you're in Greece, like, we're all human beings, and even though we may live out different lives or have different experiences with life, we all have the same energy within us that keeps us going. We all we bleed red, you know, for like instance, we all are basically the same on the inside. It's just how we look at other people that for some reason certain groups are held to a higher esteem than others, and you know, that's because of colonialism, etc. But this song really is good. It's a Marina song, true and true, in the way that it's produced like a Marina song. The transitions are lovely. The lyrics are, you know, they're kind of simplistic, but also very meaningful in the same way. And thematically, it's gorgeous. Like, the theme behind the song, the love of the world, love of your neighbors, love of the people around you, it's really, you know, refreshing to hear. And I'm glad that she wrote a song like this and that she acknowledges that this is the most important song that she's ever put out. And the most important song definitely on this record. Track 8 is End of the Earth. And I'm just gonna go and throw that away because I don't need her anymore. End of the Earth is a good closing track for this record. It is definitely, you know, a Marina song, true and true, as always, on this record. It is more so about loving the special person, or maybe it is loving everyone in the world equally. I don't know, but it's about how she would go through the greatest lengths to protect the people, to be with the people, to see the people that she loves in life. And I think that it nicely wraps up Love, the record, in a nice little bow, and it is ready for packaging and selling. And that kind of concludes the track by track. If I had to pick a standout for this record, the song or songs that I think most importantly represent what the record is about, I think I would pick To Be Human, obviously, and Orange Trees. Orange Trees isn't my favorite Marina song ever, and it may not even be my favorite on this record. However, it's kind of boosted in my eyes by how personal it is to her. And like I said, I really love it whenever you can tell an artist is having fun with what they are doing. If there are songs on this record that I would just say skip, I would have to say Enjoy Your Life and True. Listen to them definitely and make your own opinions, and that could just be because I'm kind of in a slump with my own life, that I don't like this preachy-esque type feel behind the songs, but they were just not up to par personally for me. Would I recommend this album in general to a person that is thinking about listening to Marina for the first time? No, I wouldn't. Honestly, this is not, to me, the best representation of the work that she has put in the past. And I know that this album is a departure from who she used to be. She changed her name from Marina and the Diamonds to just Marina. So I can tell that that's because, you know, she feels like a new person. She feels refreshed maybe, or like she doesn't really have to keep up with the standards that she did in the past. If I had to say listen to any specific Marina album before this one, I would say any of them, honestly. Maybe not Family Jewels, because as I listen to it more now, it does seem a little bit more dated, but it's still a standout completely in artistry from my life, like, honestly. Definitely, I would have to say that this is probably my least favorite album that Marina has ever put out, which, you know, that's still saying something because it's Marina, and that's very wonderful. I hold it to a very high regard in any instance. Will I buy the record when it comes out? Yes, I will. This leaves me wanting for Fear, and I'm hoping that that comes through and just completely knocks my socks off, like I know it will, because this album even, it knocked my socks off, but not in the way that I wanted it to, maybe. So I'm going to have to say, for this review on Marina's Love album, that I love you. You're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're kind, you're doing the best that you can, and you're only getting better, hon. Know that. I love you, and I hope that you are having a fabulous week, and I hope that your semester's winding down quite nicely. I'll see you on the next one. Bye!